They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan pants don't...
Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. You already know what time it is. This is my bad side. Or, I don't know. They all my bad side, I guess. Shit with this beard. But anyways, man, basically what I'm going to jump on here and talk about, as you can see, I ain't shaved. But with the whole beef between Bozo and Reyes, like, I really don't get involved in that. But before I even get into that, I'm just going to let you guys know, for the people that have been asking about my podcast, the first episode, well, actually, the first few episodes would be recorded February 4th, I think it is. I thought it was the 3rd, but I guess I had to switch the date to the 4th. And then the first clip should be going up the next day, and then probably around the 6th is when I'll be dropping the episode, if you want to check out the whole thing. But, you know, I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be, you know, basically me shooting from the hip as always, but it's going to have multiple people in there, so it won't just be my boring ass boring you to death, you know what I mean? But besides that, you know what I mean, like I said, February 4th will be the first podcast. And, yeah, and hopefully we continue from there. With that being said, man, basically with this whole thing between Reyes and Bozo, like I don't really like to get in between beasts, but seeing that one time, you know, for the people that are really privy to the, you know what I mean, me and Reyes didn't really get along. We had, like, you know, we had some words, you know what I mean? But I'm one of those, like, at the end of the day, if we don't get down, after a while, it bores me and I just let it go. And that was the case of the situation. Nothing ever came, you know, nothing ever came of it. Just basically, you know, me being hot and was like wanting to get busy. But nothing, like I said, nothing ever came of it, so I just let it go. So I'm not gonna get on here and be biased, but when I had a conversation with the homie, he was a little bit frustrated at the fact that he felt like me and Bozo Bam were seeking clout. But I had to tell him, like, at the end of the day, if I was choosing to, you know, seek clout, which I kind of find it funny, like when you're dealing with YouTube, there's no such thing as real clout. It's just you're covering what you choose to cover. And like I told him, like, if I was really trying to get, like, my channel popping again like that, you know what I mean, as far as like with the controversy, I would have made multiple videos of him. But for the people that have been paying attention to my channel, understand that I've only made like really one video about, you know, him, and never mentioned his name, and not one, just didn't mention his name at all. You know, I mentioned Whack because that was basically what the whole controversy was focused on, him, you know what I mean? It wasn't really with you know, the homie. But excuse me, it's like, you know, when I drink cold shit, that COVID shit left, but it's like it left behind some shit. But that's besides the point. But basically, like, so I felt like, you know, I'm not gonna get on here and bash him. Like I said, whatever happened in the past happened in the past. If it didn't get handled, that's just nothing to me. But so the whole thing with him being frustrated about that, it's like I told him, like, you know, nobody was seeking clout as far as me. Like, I can't really speak on the homies get down or why he chose to go at him. I kind of got an idea, and I'm going to try to explain that to the people that understand what really goes on. But I tell you that a lot of people are up in arms at the homie for the simple fact that he chose to talk about something that really didn't have nothing to do with him. And meaning... And what I mean by having nothing to do with him is the simple fact that Reyes ain't never been nowhere. He's never really, you know, he's never been nowhere. So for him to speak up on things and events that taking place in prison is kind of, people found comic. And they also felt disrespected by the fact that since he's never been nowhere, why he would want to speak up on certain things. It's one thing to, you know, go in there and ask an individual why he doesn't choose to interact with homies. And may even feel some type of way, which even that's kind of comical in a sense, because at the end of the day, if an individual don't mess with us, they just don't mess with us. To be brutally honest, there's a lot of Southerners that don't mess with fools, period. But, you know, and on his hand, it was a lot different, you know, maybe being from the city that he's from. It's so, you know, it's the diversity is there. But, and I can't even say that because there's a lot of hoods that are diverse and they hate each other just mostly due to color, but that's besides the point. But so I told the homie basically, like, you know, if I was seeking clout, I would have just made multiple videos on him. or spoke up on it when the topic was hot instead of waiting like nearly a month later in order to do it. Hold on. I don't know how my charger unplugged, but yeah. So basically, that that's how I see it. Like, you know what I mean. And then I also told him that, that's this era. That this era is the one that really seeks that whole and proclaims to be, people chasing clout, or they're chasing clout. At my age, people didn't really do that. Like, if they had issues, they just went out and got busy. They didn't put it on social media. They just got busy. But now, due to social media, it's a lot easier to get on here and just tell people where you prefer them to go, instead of like how you used to do it. Like I said, when you just, if it was that serious, and it was during certain times, you could pull up in fool's neighborhoods or just catch a fool sipping and get busy or do whatever you're gonna do if the case was that serious. But now it's like I told him with this, he's a rapper, you know what I mean, and his view is on rapping, and this whole clout chasing thing is pretty much to his generation, and not necessarily like the gangbangers, but just people that might have something to do with gangs, but they still want to be rappers. So it's like, that's besides the point. I ain't gonna go into all that, the differences between certain things and who's really who and who's not. But yeah, so like I said, I turned around and I told him the reason why a lot of people were frustrated is a simple fact, not only because he was talking about prison, because there's some people that felt some type of way about it, but they just laughed because at the end of the day, he's never been there. So they chose to let it go. The thing that people got frustrated is the simple fact that he got on there and it was basically like he was begging. Like, at that point, when the dude said he don't mess with Southerners, it should have ended right there. But like, okay, it is what it is, and just let it go. But a lot of people felt like he was almost on the verge of, I won't say crying, but just like, kind of simping in order to get an answer. Which, like, at that point, even when Wack was like, yeah, I want you to say right now that you mess with blacks, you know what I mean, and that you this and that, and instead of just be like, hey, pushing to the side, he actually entertained it, and a lot of people were mad at that, because that's just something as a homie we don't do. People can come on here and the Africano, they say that shit's stupid. Like, that doesn't hurt me. That's a fact. You see the nose, you see the color. Africano is what I am. You know what I mean? And it don't matter what's cut in my blood. In America, it's that 1%. If you got black blood, you black. You know what I mean? If your dad's black, you're black. It don't matter what mom is, whatever. So, for the trolls that come on here and just, that should be funny. I used to like to respond to you fools, but it's just like after a while I just got old. So it's like I just let you do what you do. You just mumbling, you know what I mean? But I've been on YouTube how long and ain't nobody touched me. So, the proof is in the pudding. But besides that, like I said, let's get back to why, I was trying to explain to the homie, but then I was like, you know what? I ain't got time to be doing the typing, and then plus dude is young, so his brain and mind ain't gonna never mesh. I see things a certain way because I've been raised a certain way, have been through certain situations which led me to believe a certain way. So regardless of what theories or hypotheses or what type of arguments, it ain't gonna be relevant because it's not gonna make sense to me because I don't think on those terms. So, I just basically told the homie, it just ended there, it ain't no need to really talk about it no more. And I just left it at that. But I was trying to tell the homie, basically why people were mad at him. It's just a simple fact. We don't beg for nothing. And then the fact that he accepted apology. And not only that, the dude that he's trying to get in bed with, not no homo or nothing, but just basically who he's trying to, associate with, it sat down with a PC. So right there it was just we're excluded. And the fact that he persists on wanting to deal with this dude is why people are at him so much. And it's like I told him, like, you need to be careful, you know what I mean? Because with all the shit, it's like maybe you can't get at one PC, but it's just like, you might come across somebody that really take it personal and feel like they need to take it into their own hands, you know what I mean? And if you ain't out there on the street and really with it like that, it's best to just let that shit go. That's why, like, even with the people ask me to speak on the video and whether he should respond to Bozo, And my response would be like, nah, you know, even though it would be good for controversy, but to be honest, all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire. And if you ain't willing to get out there in the street and get it like that, it's no need to even entertain it. You know what I mean? It's like, because this songs can go back and forth, but eventually they get real, and it's like, you know. So I wouldn't even entertain it. And even though, you know, the homie it would benefit him as well. It's just, if you ain't out there on the street doing it like that, it's best to just leave it alone. You know what I mean? But that's all I'm gonna say on that, man. The dude is young. He ain't never been nowhere, and he offended a lot of people. His best bet is to just, you know, slide back for a little bit and don't discontinue any association with Whack 100, because as long as he's still trying to get certain things and deal with that cat, people are gonna look at him like he's trash, and that's why I always say, if you deal with a PC, they're gonna see you as a PC regardless. You're guilty by association. That's like Savage, you know. That's like me getting at Savage, and he's been disrespecting the homies and everything, even though he apologized. But you know, he still disrespects, like, you know, younger homies, and you know, the Swoot and all this whatever. And that's like me allowing him to be disrespecting all that, to be who he is, and then because at one time he had 100K, I automatically like forgive all that and be like, oh well, it's all good, but can you mention me, or can you do this? Like that's the same shit. You know what I mean? It's like, these dudes cannot be dealt with, so leave them alone. So, but you know, that's on the homie and whoever chooses to deal with him. It's like, look, if you continue to associate with this dude and seek whatever promotion or profit or whatever, do sat down with a PC. So what is, you know, you got to think about that. But with that being said, like, be looking out for the podcast. It'll probably be, the first episode will probably be up on my other channel. I'm gonna put the clips on my channel, probably like 8 minutes, and then boom, if you want to watch the whole video, go to my other channel and check it out. You know, the support would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and don't get caught up in the controversy. This shit ain't worth it. You know what I mean? But man, fuck COVID. But with that being said, you enjoy the rest of your night, and I will come with regular videos soon. And I'm out.
Kneel before Zod!